So I was just doing some research this morning, and an interesting one popped up when I was looking at this. And that was the FDA have warned Dr. Mercola to stop writing about vitamin D. And the bulk of the article is discussing vitamin D in regards to the current pandemic situation, and him talking about the potential positive effects of vitamin D due to that.
So who is Dr. Mercola for those that don't know? So I came across him in actually I was at a biohacking conference like 4 years ago, and he was one of the keynote speakers. So for my understanding, he's kind of like one of the head thought leaders in kind of natural wellness and kind of biohacking your system using more of the items that were given to us here on earth. So is that a good kind of description? How would you describe Dr. Mercola to like someone who's never heard of him before?
He's a natural doctor that promotes healing. And what we're seeing in our world nowadays is we've got the conventional doctors that unfortunately are being dictated as to what they can do through the physician's desktop reference manual, which basically is a treating methodology that's controlled by big pharma. Then we've got the doctors on the other side of the fence, the naturopathics, the holistic medicine providers that are focused more on healing the body with natural botanicals and getting our body back to its true state. So Dr. Mercola is one of the foremost thought leaders in creating healing, biohacking, and remedies that have been used for generations to positively affect the body.
What are they saying about Dr. Mercola and why D is an issue? Like, I haven't read the article, so what are they trying to claim if it's not infringement, copy or patent infringement?
One of the quotes in this article is, Americans are justifiably concerned about becoming infected with the coronavirus and contracting COVID-19. Being misled to believe that supplements could prevent or treat COVID-19 could cause consumers to take protective measures such as mask wearing, putting themselves and others at risk, or failing to seek actual medical treatment if sick. So when I read that, I read competition.
Yeah.
Right. And I read it as a hit piece.
And that's, so in all of the articles, especially referencing this vitamin D attack on Dr. Mercola, right? Like every single natural medicine attack, it's always the same thing. It's like, according to the FDA, vitamin C and vitamin D3 and quercetin, I don't know if that's how you say that, but our products are unapproved new drugs sold in violation of the, it's not FDA approved, right? Like they're not giving the sign off and the authority for them to sell this to help your body heal. It doesn't matter if it works. Like they don't even ever talk about if it's work and studies linked to it that support it. It's just, we haven't given our approval for this. And
right.
What's I find ironic, and I don't know if I haven't fact checked this or not, but from my understanding, this jab that we're talking about that people are lining up for, right? That's on an emergency release where technically that is not even approved by the FDA, right? Am I understanding?
No, you're still correct, and it's not conspiracy theory for us to say that either. It still is in its emergency classification. So it's been approved for an emergency application. So people are lining up for this, and I believe the news media is doing a fantastic job at telling a narrative.
Yeah.
Personally, my body's not a guinea pig for big pharma.
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen enough damage caused by the medical system over the last number of years that for me it's a trust issue.
Like, I don't know, like whether you believe what's being said or not, like people should still have a voice and still have, that right to keep inquiring and keep learning, and whether whatever the source is. And I'm just like, the hypocrisy is so obvious once you really boil it down to the core discussion being had. And with, as we were talking, the whole FDA argument, right? Every single natural wellness thing, ones that I've used that have been miracles in my life, every bad word that's said about it in the press is because it's not approved by the FDA. Yet we have the thing that everyone's expected to rely on. That in itself is technically not proved or approved according to the FDA either, right? So it's like they're both technically not approved, yet one, we ignore that piece and we just say, well, it's an emergency, and don't even highlight that point. And then the other one, it works and you just are going to shut it down because the FDA didn't say so. So I'm just like, man, the hypocrisy just gets so obvious and clear.